Welcome to How to Triathlon. In this video, I want to do a quick review of the Ridenow TPU tube. So the reason why I'm trying out this brand is that I used to have a Pirelli SmartTube. So you can see the one here, right? And the problem that I have is that it was losing air, and turns out there was just this, and I'm not sure that's because I'm storing the bike for too long during the winter. It just got this huge kind of lump in it. And then if I put it in on my wheel, it would just start losing air after a while. So I did brought another Pirelli SmartTube, but the problem is that when I try to install the stem, so if you take a quick look here, it just comes with a, actually I removed the stem for this guy, but let me actually show you here. So it's pretty short, right? So it has a stem that would just extend a little bit from the tube. So I have to install this extension to make it longer so that it can fit into my 80mm wheel. And what happened is I got a replacement tube, which is like it's like $30, pretty expensive, US dollars. And then when I tried to put in this extension, when I put it in, I probably just turned it a bit too much, and it ended up breaking the stem. So I got this new tube with a broken, with basically a crack, basically kind of like up here. Not this is a good one, but the other one I think I already threw it away. But it's a huge problem, and I don't see myself spending another $30 on Pirelli. Talked to a friend of mine. He's pretty happy with Ridenow. So I can't vouch for the quality. I'm just going to give it a shot. But one thing I do like about this new one is that if you look into it, it's a lot longer, right? So when it comes in, this particular one, I think I got the 85mm one, so the longest one. So it's already all set, and I don't have to install an extension. I think that's one thing I really like about it. The other thing is that in this newer version, the stem is all metallic. It used to be plastic, and I heard there's some complaints about the plastic stem losing air. So this new one, hopefully, they have fixed all the problems with it. So yeah, so let's give it a try and see how it fits onto my wheel. Okay, so one question that people probably have is why TPU tube, right? I can tell you my reasons, but usually people go for TPU tube because they are more resistant to puncture. And I'm not sure whether that's absolutely true, but it's also mostly because of the lighter weight and the convenience. So here, I actually still have a spare of an extra one of this Pirelli SmartTube, and then I have the Ridenow, and then I have a standard like Continental, race rubber tube. Yes. So I'm just going to show you the differences in weight. So let me turn on my scale here. So first is the Pirelli tube. This is my spare. It's come with a 60mm stem. So I'm just going to measure and see how heavy it is. Make sure it's tarred correctly. It's just like flaring out. So 37.2 gram, right? So pretty close to the 35 gram that they advertise. And maybe that weight is for the shorter stem, but it's close enough. So 37 gram for this guy. And here's the Ridenow. Comes in at about 40.2 grams, so it's about 3 grams heavier, but it does have a metal stem, right? So probably add on to a little bit of weight, and honestly, like I'm not going to sweat over 3 grams. And finally, the traditional bike tube. So it comes in a lot heavier, 141. So it's almost, it's like three and a half times more than the Ridenow. But I think the big thing that I want to show is not the weight, right? But really the differences in size, right? Because if you put them together, you can see why the TPU tube is nice if you, especially if you want to use it as a spare, because it's just so much smaller. You know, you can easily fit like 2 Ridenow, right, for the size of one traditional tube, and similar for the SmartTube here. So for a lot of people, especially for me, the biggest benefit for me getting like this, trying out this TPU tube, is that you know, is this ability to fit this into the pouch on my bike. But also, I just really like the fact that this stem is all set up and ready to go. As I told you earlier, with the Pirelli, I think they may have a longer stem version. I'm not absolutely sure. But what I need to do is, for my 80mm wheel, I need to first unscrew the original stem that come with the valve that come with the with the tube, with a tool like this, right? So I'll use this and I'll turn and get this part out. And then I would have to install something like this, like an extension on top, right? To make sure to make that fit into my 80mm wheel. And it's just, number one, you know, a lot of work, and number two, I don't know how well it's sealed after a long time, right? Even though I do put on some Teflon paste in there. So for me, it's just the convenience of getting this one part, right? And I don't have to worry about it. And especially for longer bike ride, right? Like we think about longer race, like a full Ironman, you know, 112 miles, would be nice to fit in 2 of these, right, in my pouch, just in case, right, if I'm unlucky enough to have 2 blown tires during the race. So that's the quick comparison on the Ridenow against the traditional bicycle tube. And now let's get on the installation and get this thing on my bike. So this is the pouch that I use on my seat post, and it has basically a bottle holder, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot of space in here, right? So I already have a couple of stuff fit in here, and now I have my CO2, and then I have my pump. Where's my pump? So I have a small pump and then a tool, super small tool. So I would fit them like at the bottom here and throw in the tool here. And that's basically the minimum that I need, right? So before, I would just, you know, grab this guy and try to fit it in on this side, right? But as you can see, it's not easy, but it will fit. If I push it in, it will fit in on the left side. But with these guys, just to show you, this is about the same size as the Ridenow, so they are both the same. It's just super easy to squeeze this into the pouch, right? And I can fit in 2 of them, and then I can still have room probably for, like, if I want to have a hand wipe or something, or patch kit, I can still fit it in. So I think that's one advantage of the TPU tube, is just that it's just a lot lighter, but more importantly, a lot smaller, so you can fit them into the pouch easily. Hope this helps. So it took me about 10-15 minutes to put the tube in, and now I'm pumping up the tube. One thing I also want to mention is that it also comes with some repair stickers, and I'm just basically pumping it up. So one thing that's interesting about this tube is that it can only go up to there's a maximum pressure of 75 psi. So I guess for this tube, you're not supposed to go, you're not supposed to get it up too high. So run at a lower pressure. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go for a ride tomorrow. So I'll try to do probably put it up to around, I'm at 60 right now. So I'll probably do like around 65, or actually, yeah, just maybe just like this. I think I'm good. So let me just undo this. And you can see, let me just do this really quick. you can see that the stem is now really extended. Let me get a little bit closer. So when I first started pumping in the air, the stem was still pretty much inside the rim, but you can see that this is the 85 millimeter on a 80 millimeter wheel. So I think it's really nice, you know, that it's all set up, especially I think during a race, if you're unfortunate enough that, you know, you build a tire and need to replace the tube, it's just good to know that everything is ready to go, right? I can just pop this right in and get it going again. So there's a couple of things that come with it. So it has this basically piece of plastic that kind of goes in here nicely, and I'm just going to put it in. The interesting thing is that it actually comes with like a small O-ring, and I'm not sure why. I guess maybe it add like a stopper, because there's a metal piece that will goes on it. Let me just put my phone down so I can get the setup. Okay, so now so I get my I get this piece of plastic in, and I also now twisting in the nut to hold it in place. I think it's pretty nice, so that the stem is not going to like vibrate too much when you're riding it. So I think this is pretty cool. I'm just going to twist down on the valve, and there is an additional cover if you want it to look really nice. I was about to show you what the valve cover looks like. So now I have the wheel on my bike, and give you a closer look on what it actually looks like. A little bit closer, and this is what the valve cover. It's a nice touch. All right, and I pump this up to 65 psi. So I'm going to go for a ride tomorrow. This is actually a big lesson for me, because what happened was that I did a sprint triathlon 2 weeks ago, and then you know, find out that the tires were losing a little bit of air the day before the race. So I pump it up without really checking that night. So what happened was that on the morning of the race, like at 4:30 a.m., I find out that the tires were actually losing quite a bit of air. I only have like 40 psi left. So what I ended up doing is that I brought this foot pump with me, and during T1, like right after the swim, I actually top up the air a little bit. But thanks God, it was a short distance. It was just a sprint triathlon, so only 20K bike ride. So the old tires, it was, you know, able to hang on, and I was able to finish the race. But big lesson for me is to make sure, you know, double check tire pressure before the race. So now it's all set up. I'm going to give it a spin. Yep, looks pretty good. And yeah, now try it out tomorrow. First time I'm trying this brand, so I hope it works out. So I brought this from Amazon, and it costs about, I think, $30 for two. And my friend told me that if I were able to go to like AliExpress or something like that, since it's a tube made in China, it would be a lot cheaper, but it takes forever to ship to the US. So not sure how reliable this tube is. I've heard good things about it though, so I'll give it a shot. Thanks for watching this video, and for those of you racing this summer, wish you all you know, great races, and wish you reach your PR. All right, until next time.